Draymond Green suspended indefinitely by the NBA. What are your thoughts?
Bravo, Chris. Bravo to Adam Silver, Joe Dumars, who I know carries out a lot of that stuff, Chris.
Yep.
And the people there, and I know that they consulted and let the union know what was going on as well. Bravo. Chris, we got to stop this. I think they saw that last night and said, we cannot have this in the NBA, okay? No. This is not hockey. You're not the enforcer. You know what I mean? You're not dropping gloves and fighting with people and hitting people in the face and potentially hurting somebody seriously. We got to stop this guy because he's out of control.
He really is. And when you look at the frequency of these actions, Rob, remember last year in the playoffs against Sacramento. I mean, how many games are we in? 20-something games into the season, and it's already happened twice.
Right.
I mean, so I am fine with it. Indefinitely means I assume, Rob, it means that they're expecting him to go to some type of counseling,
right,
or get some type of help. And once you fulfill those obligations, then we'll consider you being able to play back in the league. But I'm totally fine with it. I don't feel sorry for Draymond at all.
Chris, it's about player safety.
Hopefully this will teach him a lesson. Absolutely.
Right? This is. They had to look at that last night and go, oh, okay, we can't. What? What is this? What are you doing? You're going to hurt somebody out there. And then what? It's on who, Chris?
Right. It will be on the NBA.
It's going to be on the NBA when a player loses an eye or something.
And, Rob, I said, and when you covered the NBA, David Stern was the commissioner for a lot of that time.
Yep.
I said today on First Things First, David Stern wouldn't put up with this. I mean, he just wouldn't. And I know, remember, there was fighting. I mean, in the 90s, the mid-90s, it was a lot of fighting. And he instituted some rules that were very harsh. I mean, we remember the Knicks. Patrick Ewing stepping off the bench.
It cost them the series against Miami, Chris.
Very well may have,
that
for
fight,
sure.
And the thing was, the fight was in front of the Knicks bench. So, they stepped on the court where Miami was all the way down on the other end.
Right.
And they got
And remember, I think Ewing, though, when he stepped on the court, he was on the other end. Remember that? Like, he was away from the action. And that may have been a little bit harsh, but guess what, Rob? We don't have that type of fighting. It stopped. It stopped. And I think this is a good step by Adam Silver. Rob, a lot of times you want to give people, or in this case, players, the benefit of the doubt, right? We know everybody makes mistakes. We know, sometimes you can come down too harsh on a person. But then there are times where you're just fed up. And it's just like, there is no defense of what you did. You clearly are taking advantage of people giving you a little rope, right?
Yep.
People have been patient, to say the least, Rob, with Draymond. I mean, they have given you chance after chance. Yeah, you get a little slap on the wrist, a little bit of punishment, but they have given you chance after chance after chance, and you have shown no remorse, no maturity, no growth, and you don't seem like you even think it's a big deal. And I'm glad they came down on him this hard. And I don't even care. We'll see Draymond when we see Draymond.
But you know what?
But get yourself right, man.
I think this is also an indictment of the Warriors, that they're like, you guys haven't done what you need to do, okay? Because, Chris, you mentioned it. Stepping on somebody's chest.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
He stomped on, who was that?
That was Domantas Sabonis.
Right, Sabonis is, right. Punching out your teammate, a sucker punch, Jordan Poole, and now here you are in yet another game swinging on somebody's head. Like here we are again.
I'm going to be honest, Rob, and I haven't talked to anybody about this, but like inside info. The Warriors, I kind of think that they feel like Jordan Poole, like, I don't know if I'll say deserve to get sucker punched. But it clearly seems to me, with the way they reacted, the lack of punishment, obviously trading Jordan Poole, and now, to be honest, he is acting a fool in Washington. Like, I almost
that
think
still doesn't
that
justify.
No,
what
I know,
what
but
happened,
I'm just
right.
saying. I'm telling you what I think they feel. I think they felt like, man, this dude is a clown, and he's getting on everybody's nerves and everybody's nerves. And Draymond punched him out, and I agree that doesn't justify it. But it seems to me from their reaction that that's what they felt. And I'm just gonna be honest, playing sports, up through college, there can be situations. I mean, you have fights on teams. And I think, Rob, if it hadn't gone public, I don't think they would even thought it was that big of a deal.
They were more mad, Chris, about it, the videotape being leaked than that it happened. Because it's different when, we talk about this all the time. If Ray Rice did that, Chris, and punched out his fiance to be later wife, and nobody saw it, there's a difference between what really went down.
It looks,
exactly.
Right.
And once you see it, it changes everything, and that's why they're mad that somebody in their organization leaked the video.
Because I don't know what they would have done. And there can be guys on your team that just get on everybody's nerves, and finally somebody puts them in their place, and y'all like, man, yeah, whatever. But still, I'm not trying to justify what he did. But even that, Rob, even if Jordan was getting on people's nerves, and Draymond did what a lot of people felt like doing.
But they
still should have came down on him. They still
Chris,
should have
have a fight face to face though. If you want to do that, I'm not against two guys fighting. Okay, you want to clear the air, and the only way we're gonna get this out is one of us gonna have to get our butts beat, and then that'll be the end of it, right? Those things happen, but you can't sucker punch somebody.
I think they still should have punished him. Yeah, I mean, and that the ring night excuse is just ludicrous. And so, look, like I said, I'm fine with it. We'll see Draymond when we see him. And again, Rob, this type of suspension has to include, don't you think, some type of counseling that he has to complete?
Speaking of that,
I don't know how you'd make it indefinite.
We just got it according to Shams, okay? Green is expected to receive counseling and work with the Warriors and NBA while suspended after the punch last night to the head, and has to meet certain criteria, Chris, before returning to play. So yes, there are safeguards in there,
right?
And steps that he has to follow the same way they had for Ja Morant and for Kyrie. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do these steps in order to get back in. He might miss 20 games.
And to me, Rob, this is where the Warriors can make amends for their negligence over these past few years, is that you take this seriously and you make him Rob, a lot of times when you have an issue with your employer or you do something that has to be apologized for or whatever, they will say publicly, he's going to go through some counseling or meet with some people, whatever. And it either doesn't happen or it happens, but nobody really, it's not taken seriously. It's just kind of going through the motions.
Or they just don't renew your contract. Oh, that's something else. Go ahead.
But I think that the way the Warriors can make amends is you really take this seriously. And I'm not saying the dude is crazy, has mental issues. I don't know that. I'm not saying that. But they should make him talk to people and sit down and take it seriously. Don't just check it off the list. Oh, Draymond went to see, a counselor.
Right.
And
he
for
did
the last
20 hours of community service.
No. Make him really go through it. Because, Rob, and I don't even want to get into whatever's, in his personal life or whatever he may be like with family or whatever. I'm just saying they should take it seriously and don't let him just go through the motions and then bring him back.
No,
Make it be a real, some real stuff.
Yeah, I think that's where the NBA, that's why they just didn't even put a number on it. You're not playing. Yep. Get off the court, and we're going to get you straight if you're going to come back and play in the NBA, because you're not going to do this again. We're not even going to have the chance of you hurting somebody, Chris. We just can't do it. Because if they put a slap on the wrist and he does something else to somebody, at some point they're going to be held responsible, right? At some point.
Yep.
Like the Warriors.
Yep.
If somebody's career is ended or seriously injured or something happens bad, they're going to be like, well, you let Draymond off the hook 4 times.
Rob, speaking of injury, Anthony Davis, I mean, they just started the game against
He's hurt?
the Spurs. Yeah, it looks like he turned an ankle. He's
there goes my money.
He's not getting up. Like, he's been down now for a good couple of minutes. And, I mean, you never know with AD. He always looks like it's,
right, they might get a wheelchair and he'll be back in the second quarter.
Right, exactly. So, hopefully it's not too serious. But, yeah, he just went down. LeBron James already out with the calf injury.